wager that if you walked up to a person on the street and said, "What does an electric guitar look like?" If they didn't look at you and sort of say, "No, bro, I've got a boyfriend," then they might say something like the Fender Stratocaster, a wonder of the industrialized age. This hasn't changed too much in the 70 years that it's been produced, but like everything in the electric guitar sphere, those small differences do add up and make quite a bit of a difference. So I want to compare 3 different Strats in this video. This is my 1977 Fender Strat. It's a dog. It's not well made. It's heavy. It's had a lot of work done to it to get it to be playable. Stainless steel refret, Sir ML pickups. It's not really representative of a stock 70s Strat anymore, but that's kind of the way I like it. I play this guitar a lot. I'm very used to it. For all its shortcomings, I feel like it kind of brings out a side of my playing that no other guitar does. It's a little bit darker sounding than what most people would imagine a typical Strat to sound like. And it's pretty unforgiving. Like, it doesn't feel that great to play. It's a little bit stiff. It's maybe a little bit vibeless if somebody picked it up, but I'm so used to this guitar, and it's got the big Fender 70s headstock on here for peak Blackmore and Malmsteen vibes there. We're going to hear this next to a 90s Buddy Guy Strat that I've put some Fralin single coils in. These are super fat sounding. I really like the way these sound. I had some lace sensors in here up until recently, which I really liked, but totally different vibe. This is very light ash. It's got a maple neck on here. It's got a big chunky almost kind of V profile on it. Massive frets, much easier to play, much more of a kind of classic like bluesy Strat. I want to play SRV and Jimmy when I play this guitar on here. It really makes you want to dig in and play percussive things and just kind of lean into everything, which is definitely a Strat thing. And then the other Strat that I want to show, this is a 2024 Player Series 2 that I did a demo video with recently. This is bone stock. I haven't done any modifications to this. I haven't even set it up. This came straight out of the box. I did a demo video with it. I've done some gigs with it. As you can see, it's got a bridge humbucker in here. It's got the stock single coils. This, to me, is a pretty good representation of what I would consider like the most accessible pro-level Fender Strat. I'm really into the way this plays. It kind of doesn't fight you like the 70s Strat. There's a very slim, I think it's like a C neck shape on here, medium frets, you know, nothing extreme about this guitar. In some ways it is a bit vanilla, but in other ways it's kind of a blank canvas for whatever you want to do with it. So we'll hear some sound clips. I'll kind of just compare like a clean sound on the neck pickup and a few different other pickups. We'll hear some big, filthy, dirty sounds. We'll hear some what I would consider like signature sounds for this guitar. And of course, we'll answer the question, do these Strats do the Ty Tabor King's X thing? And of course they do. And then we'll wrap it up. Let's hear some clips. In conclusion, they all kind of sound like Strats, right? That's the important thing. They have that characteristic quack going on all the time, and you either immediately love that thing or you learn to love that thing because it's kind of synonymous with the sound of the electric guitar. The Player Series Strat, to me, is such a good introduction to You know, something that's vaguely stratty. If you've never played one before, then you've got a bridge humbucker in here when you want more gas. You've got the bright sounding neck and middle pickups on there that you can tame with the tone control, as we heard on there. And using the onboard tone controls of a Strat, they're there for a reason, you know. They are there so that you can tame that intense brightness on certain amps, and you should use it. If you find your Strats too bright, before you go and change the pickups, before you go and modify a bunch of stuff, just try to turn the tone down from like 10 to 7 and see how you get on with that. So this, I think if you were starting out and you wanted a really solid gigging guitar for the money, pretty hard to beat. Let's pivot to this thing, the 90s Buddy Guy Strat. This one's kind of getting some nice wear on it. This, to me, is just a vibe. Like, I don't do things on this that I do on the 70s Strat. This makes me want to do the SRV thing for better or for worse, and I really like those kind of lower gain breakup sounds on there. I don't love it as much with the high gain thing, but you know, like I said earlier, it just kind of makes me want to dig in and play funky stuff, and it's really nice and light, and I've gigged this a bunch of times, and it just kind of floats on you, and you can run around with it and have some fun, which is, you know, part of the joy of playing these guitars, right? You can beat them up, you can lay into them, you can basically get as good as you give with this on this particular guitar. It's got that nice, what I would call the suspension, where you hit a note and it kind of feels like the note bounces back in your hand, so you want to dig in more. Very cool guitar, probably underrated in the scheme of Fender signature models. You see people talk about the Jeff Beck Strats, the Malmsteen Strats, the Clapton Strats, the Mayers Strats. I think the Buddy Guy ones are a really good sleeper guitar, especially if you can find one in Sunburst and not the signature Polka Dot. I think the Polka Dot's cool, but Sunburst is the vibe. And then this old hunk of junk that sounds pretty amazing, I think. For me, I've been playing this guitar for so long that it is synonymous with what I consider a Fender Stratocaster. And anytime I play something that's maybe, say, more 50 spec or more 90 spec, it throws me a little bit. But, you know, you could hear on that bridge pickup, there's like a fatness and a thickness about it. And on the neck pickup, you can play rhythm guitar on that all day. You can make it dirty, you can make it clean. The in-between positions on this guitar, I think, really shine. I'm obviously super into that hi-fi 80s affected sound, and I think this does that kind of sound probably better than any of the other guitars I've got here. But, you know, it's not perfect, but that's kind of the point. This guitar has a lot of character, and I feel like the Fender Strat in general is such a great canvas for you to learn about what you like as a guitar player. You know, sure, it may not be your favorite guitar, but I feel like it's one of the essential tools that you want to have and you want to experience and embrace. And being an electric guitar player and not having a Strat, or not kind of knowing how to vibe with a Strat, I think is an experience that if you don't have that in your life, you should probably try to amend it. And if you do have that in your life, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm going to stop talking now. I'm going to say thanks so much for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts on your favorite Fender or Strat style guitar that you've got in your collection or that you've played. What do you like? What out of these guitars did you like the most? And if you like what I'm doing here on the channel and you want to support me directly, links in the video description. There's also some free stuff and some music to listen to. Have a great day. Go and make some glorious guitar noises. I'll see you next time.